So we had a lot of fun. We made a 10x React engineer that can code for us a React project. Today, I want to escalate that idea a little bit. I'm very excited. Very excited. I want to actually make one of these AI agents with Llama 2 that can generate you a code base. Yeah. Based on your startup idea, your startup intuition. Not even, I wanted to actually formulate the idea, and I want to think through some extra concepts here. And yeah, I learned about these things like 2 days ago. So, I might not do it, right? But I'm going to do it, okay? Because I said I was going to do it, and I have to. So the way this is going to work is we're going to format, and we're going to get an intuition that looks like this. I think it would be a good idea to build a startup for dog sitters. And and what we're going to feed into the model is going to be this intuition. And the intuition is going to go and essentially pass into our auto startup model this ideating loop that keeps testing the idea. And we're going to utilize memory this time. We didn't do any memory last time. I want to use memory to keep figuring out good ideas or good intuitions mapped to ideas based on the user's feedback, so that the model can keep finding, prompting with good examples for intuitions mapped to ideas. So, but really, the AI is gonna be testing the idea based on the intuition so much that eventually it's gonna be confident. We have to figure out how to get confidence in an idea, and then it's just gonna build it. And so we're gonna use the 10x React engineer thing that we made yesterday to build it. So after that, we're gonna pivot. But really what I want to do is I want to take a lean startup approach in this AI to just take your intuition of what you think and turn it into a usable idea, and then put that idea in the 10x React engineer that I had yesterday. And then after that code base gets generated, it's going to ask the user if it wants to pivot. And then we're going to use these methodologies for pivoting to prompt. And we're going to have to make so I already thought about the memory. We're going to have a pivot memory, and we're going to have a memory. I'll talk about what the memory is. But we're going to have a pivot memory, and we're going to have a memory for the idea intuitions. So the pivot is just going to redo the loop and then just say, we're going to have to figure out a good prompt with these types of pivots to figure out like what went wrong. We may have to just ask the user what went wrong and then pivot accordingly. But we could also just random pivot. Like, I feel like in reality, like, this is a simulation and an experiment. In reality, you want to measure your idea in the real world. Here, we're just like asking the user, hey, is this good? And then we're going to figure out how to prompt with a pivot. Yeah, so let's just get started coding. I fixed up, by the way, for anyone wondering, I fixed it up. I know that the last, the 10x code base, it was super messy. So we just fixed it up a little bit. Made some classes. So let's do the auto startup. I don't know if this is actually going to work. So we're going to make something that takes your intuitions, thinks of a startup idea, and actually we're going to pass in the React engineer here. So this is going to take in the instance of the React engineer class, and this is also going to be an agent child. So let's get that. Well, we can just write it here. It's not that complicated. Let's just get the generate that we need. And let's go. And so the first thing, so we want to have a run command like we have in the other one that actually runs the auto startup. And we're going to have So let's do some scaffolding. That's why I made the AI scaffold, because that's how I code. I scaffold first. All right, so the way this works is we're gonna have an idea loop. So in the run, we're gonna first think or ask for the intuition, but then we're gonna have an idea loop. And the idea loop is gonna go into a pivot loop or a pivot, and the pivot is gonna restart the idea loop. It's really the main structure here. So the idea loop takes in a thought, it takes in a intuition, and actually the pivot, I just realized the pivot needs to output another intuition. So really the startup model is going to be taking in the user's intuition and just like poking at ideas it could possibly build related to that. Let's just get it working for now. This is more of an optimization where as you keep asking the auto startup model, it's going to be fetching ideas that worked in the memory and then being like, hey, this idea worked. Prompt Llama 2 with an example of an intuition map to an idea. And also for the pivots, to say an example of a pivot based on this idea. So the GPT engineer and the auto GPT thing, we're sort of merging these concepts here. Auto GPT is really cool though, by the way. I just want to be clear. I do think it's very cool. Anyway, so this should output another intuition and then rerun the idea loop. And then we're gonna, in the end, we're gonna have why is this indent isn't, oh, okay. So the idea loop is gonna first get a name or get an idea. Get a simple idea. And this is the first idea it's gonna get. We're gonna have to figure out an idea prompt. And oh yeah, we have to pass in the prompt class. So I just realized it's in the React engineer, but that's okay. We don't want to use that one. I should use keyword arguments. Like, definitely. Because this isn't something that, like I really want to, let's do prompt equals prompt. We're not doing it. We don't, actually, no, we don't want to use keyword arguments for this. I'm just going to stay with the whole methodology. Like Quark should typically be configurable things. These aren't configurable. So the prompt class is where we're going to store our prompts. If that makes sense. If that makes sense to everybody. So we'll say React engineer equals React engineer. And I think we pass in the prompt to both of these. That's not a great, it's not that bad. But all right, so we want to get the prompt. These are 3 classes. Now let's actually go to the prompts. And they'll start actually doing the AI stuff. So we have these prompts here. Put that in the wrong place. Let's go and write. This is our auto startup prompts. Okay. So self.idea prompt. Let's say you are, you have to be really like intense with these models. You will generate a business idea based on a user's intuition. Maybe we have to use a user's intuition. Okay, cool. It actually thought of a name too. I just realized we got to tell it to think of a name in the prompt. It did it? All right, so this is the response. So the idea is, wait, what? The idea is Pet Peppy, a social platform for dog owners and trustworthy sitters. Pet Peppy is an innovative online marketplace that connects dog owners with passionate dog sitters. It's not bad. So it did get a business idea, but which I think we all kind of knew was going to do that. But we want to format it in a way that it's going to be really good to pass to the React engineer. The idea prompt's cool because this is giving us the idea. Let me actually write this a little bit. So we want to get first, we want to get the initial idea and then create a business plan, which we can just add to this based on the idea. And then change the idea if it doesn't match the business plan. So we need to have a way of being like, hey, keep testing the idea based on this business plan you generate. And okay, we need to have an idea of criticisms, which is, I think that's the GPT thing. So we need to criticize the plan. So we have an idea prompt. Let's just do a business plan prompt. I want these to be like very functional. So I don't want all these prompts to like have multiple things going on. We have to understand we're not using GPT-4, where we have to kind of be smart with what we're doing here. So the business prompt. So this is the business plan prompt. So we have to get one to generate a business plan, which we will write in a sec. And then we're going to get one to criticize business plan, criticize business plan. And the criticizing the business plan, I actually want it to result in a new idea. So it should criticize the plan that it generates. So we'll have to figure out a way to parse each item in the business plans. We'll have to tell it to give us a structure we can parse, which will just be, I think we'll just do, we'll actually just get new lines and see if it has dashes after or whatever. You know how it should work? First, we get a list of criticisms, and maybe we tell it to address all the criticisms. And then we have to see whether or not, because I wanted to figure out a way for it to just like run out of criticisms, like until it's good. Because I don't want to just say like only do like criticize it 3 times or something. That's not really scalable. So you know what? I'm actually just gonna. Actually, no. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna see if we can criticize it on a loop. Let's do that. So I'll say you will generate. So you will generate a list of criticisms based on a user provided business plan. The user will provide a list of items on the business plan. You will modify each, or you will think of criticisms for each item and generate a new list based on the criticisms, based on your reasonings. Well, we're really just figuring out if it's good at reasoning. The user will provide the business plan in the format below. No, it's a cool book. All right. Scheming. All right. So we got the business idea from the intuition. We got the branding. We got the name. It's a platform for dog sitters, connect with dog owners. So we're scheming a business plan. We're conducting market research. So we're just going to criticize it. Okay, so the business plan. Conduct market research and target specific regions. Partner with local pet stores. Cool. Criticism. Partner with local pet stores may be unfeasible, cost-effective, may be difficult to find suitable partners. This is never going to end. I don't think so. It's going to keep just like slowly criticizing it and making new ones. I'm going to have it take in a criticism and then ask it, do you think, or a business plan, and be, do you think this business plan is sufficient? Answer with yes or no. And then I'm going to parse yes or no. Okay, so we need to make a new one. That when we have to say you are like an intelligent business person. All right, so it says no. You need to include more details such as financial plans. Mark, well, it's not going to do any of that. I need to make it way less. Now it's like, it's kind of a jerk. And also it's not just, it's saying no and then like a ton of other stuff. It's not what I said. I said only provide the answer in all caps. It's still criticizing it. Well, this is how it's supposed to work, but like, is this ever going to be happy? Detail and specific market research. Is this ever going to be happy? Man, I just realized this might never be happy. Okay, it's submitting the new. Yeah, it's just no. There's not enough quantitative research mentioned in the. Okay. Should I tell it to be nice? I like it. It's cool, but it's just never happy. I just realized I want it to be like more happy than not. I don't want it to criticize too much. All right. So I think a website for dog sitters would be cool. And I didn't even specify what the product was. So first we get the product idea. And we got the colors, we get the name. I don't even know what those colors are. So we get develop an online platform for dog owners to find and book trusted dog sitters in the area, implement a rigorous screening process for potential sitters, including background checks. Okay. A lot of criticisms. Wow. Maybe challenging to implement. Oh, it said yes this time, but it says unique and relevant concept. It's like all positive, but I need to find a good mix between positive and not positive. Well, it approved it, so we'll have to we'll have to mess around with the approval. Maybe it's good for testing that it's like it's more of an optimistic approval system. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's do our idea summarization prompt, or our MVP idea prompt. All right. So we're scaffolding. It's taken some time. Please. Nice. It did it. Cool. So now it's resolving missing dependencies. Let's look at what this looks like. So it's a login register. Yeah, use the name Pampered Pooch Pal. Yay. That's all I wanted. I don't think it used the colors though. I don't want modifications. We don't have to test that. Either way, let's do the pivot. Because like, yeah, that part kind of sucks, but it's like it's doing it, and the React stuff is kind of separate. Well, it's not separate, but I want to work on I want to do the startup part because the React part just needs like a more powerful model. Even though it is like doing it, but you have to fix it up for like probably 20 minutes after you generate it, or 10 minutes. All right, so let's say pivot self. All right, Cool. We got the app. Resolve missing dependencies. We have files that were just saved to the directory. We're not making modifications. And they're like, okay, do you want to pivot? And I'm like, yeah, I want to pivot. And then it starts making a pivot. Okay, nice. It's going. Cool. Awesome. That's all we needed to test. Got the new idea. We're good. We did a successful pivot. We have the similarity search. Everything's good. All right. This is crazy. And it's pretty awesome. Uh, we made an auto startup. That's pretty nuts. I'm gonna package this whole thing on GitHub, and yeah, it's an AI that creates a startup for you, generates the code base. It kind of works. So yeah. All right. Have fun. I'm gonna enjoy my life.